Hi, my name is Jenny Castle, and I am the Gallery and Programs Director at the Rose Center for the Arts at Lower Columbia College. And I'm here today with Farima Eshraghi, who is a photographic artist currently based in Boston. She was born in Tehran, Iran, and she currently works as tech support for the art department at Wellesley College. Fari, thank you for joining me today.
My pleasure. Hi.
I want to start the interview by asking you to share a little bit about your background and your path to becoming an artist.
Um, so I would say it's been a very long path for me. Um, I I started practicing art and deciding that art is the way for me back in high school. I changed my school and went to an art school instead of the normal regular high school, and we had a photography course, and my teacher was this amazing woman who really encouraged me to keep doing what I was doing, and really gave me the strength to believe in myself and believe that art is not something that you practice on the side while you're studying something else or while you're doing something else. And then I studied photography both in college and for my master's. So it's been a very long time and it's been fun.
So, I think that a lot of young people who are interested in art are looking for ways to incorporate their artistic practice into their lives, even if they have other responsibilities outside of that desire. Um, are there any um, struggles or adversity that you experience trying to keep art at the center of your life? And if so, would you mind sharing that and like maybe how you solve those problems for yourself?
Yeah, definitely. Especially after I finished school, my master's. Um, it was this constant struggle on a daily basis. Even though my work is art related and I'm in the center of an art department, but still it's work, and um, it's just very important to be strict on yourself and have a very specific amount of time dedicated to your work. And because my work also needs a lot of space, I need a studio space. So it took me almost a year to really settle down, find a space that I could work. At times it was hard, it was difficult, frustrating, feeling that it's kind of impossible to make money, to have a full-time job or two part-time jobs and still have my own practice. But again, it's just being faithful to it and believing that if it matters to me this much, that I've been with it for this long, it's worth it, and I can find a way.
Um, so the daily routine and a strict schedule helps you maintain that practice and finding time to make the work. But what would you say drives your practice? Like what types of ideas and passions drive the type of work that you're making?
So definitely being from Iran and being a woman, it's very difficult to not go into the verge of being exotic or being a cliche, but still, it's a truth and it's a fact. Being a woman from Iran, you're struggling with your gender on a daily basis. It's the hugest part of your identity. And everything eventually goes back directly to that. So I'm really passionate, and I'm always looking for anything that shapes and affects my gender as a woman, and all the ways that patriarchy has really affected my life, my culture has affected me, and all these issues surrounding gender identity are very important to me. And because it's a struggle, and I see it in other women around me having the same issues, it really it's it it drives me, I would say.
Have you has your experience with your gender changed at all since moving to the US? Do you feel that that the narrative of your work has shifted since moving, or do you feel like it's remained constant for you?
No, it has definitely moved. Especially interestingly, I was before coming to the US, I was practicing pure photography, snapping a photo, printing it, having it on a wall. And as I moved here, my practice, even though it's still mainly focused on photography, but it has either movement into it, there is a video part to it, or it moves into three-dimensional sculptural mode.
Why do you think that those are the changes that have happened in your work?
Um, it's it's in a way how my body feels, and how my body shifted into a fear mode. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you feel more free. You can have movement in a way. My final thesis for my undergrad was a project that I would take off my scarf because we have mandatory hijab in Iran. I would take off my scarf and have my back to the camera, and there would be a cityscape or a landscape in front of me. And as simple as it might seem, it was kind of like a criminal act in that country. I could be arrested and punished for that. So definitely my body feels um, relaxed and more comfortable, and I feel that I'm allowed to have a movement to occupy more space around myself.
It's really interesting, and yeah, it's interesting how it's showing up in your work now. Um, so your practice revolves around gender identity for many reasons. Are there certain artists that you have come across throughout your career that have inspired you or helped you shift your work in ways that are meaningful to you?
Yeah, definitely. The first artist that had a very profound effect on me was Doris Salcedo. Her work is, she works a lot with the idea of loss, and in a political level, how the government captures some people, protesters, and they disappear. And she works on around the idea of this disappearance and death, and how that is felt by other people. Um, and also, there was a group exhibition in, I think, 2015 in Guggenheim. It was called Photo Poetics. And the artists in that exhibition all work with photography and text, printed images printed matter, and my work is really similar in many ways with them. Especially people like Leslie Hewitt, Moira Davey, Sarah Vanderbeek. Their work is sculptural, three-dimensional, and it's been really helpful for me to um, look at their work, read about their works.
Um, we will have to wrap up the interview soon, but I would like you to share any advice you have for young artists just starting out. At the beginning, you said that you've had a long road and you've taken many steps to keep art at the center of your life. Um, but looking back at the younger you, is there any advice that you wish you had known then?
Um, it's just knowing it's a struggle, um, but it's possible. If you want, you can do it. When you're passionate about art, it's difficult to find a job that can be directly related to art, but it's possible to have that, or even not having an career directly in the arts, but practicing your own art is possible.
Thank you, Fari. Fari will be part of a group exhibition at the Forsberg Art Gallery this November called A Quiet Stand. You can see her work then, as well as see our virtual content that will be displaying that work. Fari, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today.
Thank you for inviting me.